If you're an artist, you're the subject of the largest PSYOP known to mankind. My name's Adam, and I have a background in social engineering, and I'm gonna show you how divide and conquer is applied at scale to make you miserable and cause you to fall into despair, so that not only is your work a mimetic self-replicating despair machine that they don't have to monitor, but also so that you will be a better consumer and easier to control and manipulate at scale. This is a hopeful video. I am not a doomer, and I'm gonna provide a hopeful take on how to fix this at the end of this video. So the formula they use here is really simple. We have divide plus conquer plus overwhelm equals bad decisions. And I'm gonna create a hypothetical example of this so you understand how this would function in a vacuum. Okay, for the point of this example, we're gonna use McDonald's and Burger King. We want our audience to believe that McDonald's is bad and Burger King is good. Human beings are inherently tribal. We're gonna carry this all the way back to Paleolithic man. If your tribe has more resources and is more successful than another tribe, then based on survival level human instinct, that tribe who has less resources is going to feel a sense of competition, and they're going to think that they need to take something from the successful tribe in order to survive. The ego also demands that people validate their own participation in a group, otherwise why would they need to be there? So our pride as people is inherently linked to groups that we are a part of. In this example, we are using McDonald's and Burger King as stand-in for these tribes because I can't think of anything more innocuous than fast food. But we're gonna successfully make a case in this video for how to get a whole bunch of people to hate McDonald's and love Burger King at a social engineering level based on this tribalism. So the first thing that you need to do is present an incredibly reductive argument towards the moral alignment of your target group. This is usually done with memes in modern culture. So if we say McDonald's is bad, very basic moral alignment decision, not really substantiated in any meaningful way. First thing I would do if I wanted to make McDonald's bad, before I even started marketing for how good Burger King was, is I would make McDonald's into McChud. Okay, so we change the name of the group. We make fun of the group by changing the name. It's not a really morally aligned name in any meaningful way. We're just calling it McChuds. But a chud is a stupid person. So if we call it McChuds, and anyone who goes to McDonald's a McChud, it's kind of funny, which makes it easier to digest that it's just vindictive and mean for literally no reason. And then I could generate a bunch of Wojak memes or a bunch of like Goy Slop memes about McChuds. So again, the first step here is to label your opposing group as bad. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna distribute a whole bunch of these memes alongside something that feels like verified evidence that McDonald's eaters are McChuds. So we're gonna look up every hit article and we're gonna make them as extreme as possible. We're gonna pick all the ones about how they're grinding up babies or something and putting them into the meat there. We're gonna get every article we can about a crime that has been committed at McDonald's. And at the same time that we're distributing these memes, which are gonna push us in the algorithm because they're funny, easy to consume, and highly shareable, they're viral, they're self-replicating negative sentiment, which if you've watched my other videos, you know we're programmed to receive. We're programmed to receive this negative sentiment. So when we've effectively programmed them to receive negative sentiment, we can then feed them actual evidence, even though it's cherry-picked statistical information that isn't really relevant. It's not actually all bad. Bad stuff doesn't happen at McDonald's 99.9999% of the time. We're just gonna make it look like it does to all the people who have already been conditioned to think McDonald's is dumb because everyone who eats there is a McChud. So now that we've made this very strong case, we're gonna make Burger King look good. All right, so now we're gonna make the obvious play and we're gonna make Burger King equal royalty. Except what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a mimetic system where everybody who is a Burger King enjoyer gets a royal title attached to them by the people who are operating the meme account that is spinning the McChud narrative. So we're gonna start distributing memes about McChuds and how the Burger Kings and Burger Dukes and Burger Lords and Burger Ladies are ruling over the McChuds. So we're creating a story universe, a narrative where the enjoyers of Burger King are intellectually and socially superior to the McChuds. We create a phenomenon around this. We distribute a ton of memes that are equally reductive to the McChud ones that portray Burger King enjoyers as people that we might want to be. And again, it's funny, so it's digested easily. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to cherry pick more news articles about charitable contributions and good things that Burger King employees have done. And we're going to cherry pick statistics about their food production that suggests that they're more ethical, that they are the morally superior, upright, kingly race of the fast food industry. And what will happen when we do this is people who are now seeing all of this viral mimetic content about McChuds and Burger Kings, is they will inherently associate being a Burger King enjoyer with being morally upright and higher status. And then by merit of this, we will have astroturfed a whole bunch of people to go to Burger King and eat their food and drive their profits up. Now, this plays out in the real world. I think if either of these companies were to try something like this, they would get sued. So you don't see as much of this, although I'm sure it happens. I didn't work in the corporate side of social engineering. I was on the political side. This is why the modern left versus right debate is such a mess, is because it is full of social engineering tactics like this to reduce the argument and reduce the people into very easy bite-sized pieces that can be consumed and judged quickly. The problem with consuming this information and judging it quickly is that it's impossible to form a fully developed, nuanced take about the actual ethical issues at play politically. You're asked to be reactionary with very little information about what's actually true. And this is where the overwhelm component of the equation comes into play, because you're being bombarded with this messaging constantly. And if you watched my last video, you understand that the amygdala is responding to that with action that hasn't been thought through and forming judgments that are ill-conceived. The solution to this problem is twofold. You're never gonna get off social media, because if you're an artist or a creator, you have to use this platform. What you do have to do is start believing that good things are actually possible for you and that you can succeed, and that all of this evil stuff that you're being engineered into believing is actually mostly a lie. So to interrupt that process, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reject all forms of despair. So you're gonna see despair. You're gonna see hopelessness. Here's how bad everything's getting. You're gonna see people in your comment section suggesting that you are a fool and you are intellectually inferior for believing that everything could actually work out for you. You're gonna look at that as an intentional social engineering campaign that's designed to put you into the in-group, and the in-group in this case is the despair, the doomers, instead of it just being true to reality that life can actually be pretty good. So we're gonna reject that you've been grouped. And then next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reject the conditioning that that grouping would ask you to execute on. Again, this whole system relies on the poignancy of the message being self-replicating. So you're gonna stop self-replicating that. You're gonna make art that actually reflects ultimate truth, real truth, and beauty. You're gonna make art that has real, deep, thought out intentionality behind it. And when you do this, you're gonna have a positive impact that interrupts this programming and interrupts this loop, and you're gonna feel good about yourself the entire time. Because the truth is that this entire system relies on you having very poor self-esteem and very bad decision-making capabilities, because this entire decision to be a Burger King royalty instead of a McChud is a decision that's been fabricated for you, which means it's a bad decision. You need to make good decisions. You need to make them quickly in order to navigate the intense onslaught of information that is being leveraged against you. And the best way to do that is to serve love and truth and beauty and goodness in everything that you make and everything that you do. I love you. Goodbye.